Hey there and welcome back to another My Hero Academia video. And today we're going to be talking about the latest episode to drop, The Chain Thus Far, which picks up in the immediate aftermath of Kurogiri getting loose and opening up a bunch of portals, allowing Dabi to find Endeavor and Toga to unleash her version of Twice as Sad Man's parade, using the last of his blood that she had left over. So a massive cliffhanger that, and so, yeah, hype. And before we go any further, I would like to say, I'm flying blind now. Haven't read up to this point in the manga, so everything's simply speculation now. No spoilers except for the episodes that are out, and so, yeah, nothing else for it but to jump into things. Okay, so in the cold open, we pretty much just get a recap of the events of the last moments of the previous episode. Kurogiri waking up and summoning everybody to the places they need to be, in order for the villains to rather easily sweep the board. And the Mountain Villa battle site, it honestly looks like an unwinnable position for the heroes. You have a huge swarm of twice doubles, all with extremely murderous intent thanks to Toga, and Dabi, who's ascended to pure hate mode and has learned the special technique that Shoto developed to take him out. He's unleashed his flames everywhere, which are burning so hot that they're actively trapping the heroes and trapped villains, and sapping their strength rapidly. Uraraka and Froppy have come through the portals too, but come on. They're not on the level of Twice Army and Dabi, so still not looking that good. And then the music starts to swell, and it's all just so epic. We get that American newsreader talking about the butterfly effect, which just seemed to be there to be cool for the first watch through, but afterwards, when you see who comes in clutch in the end, it shows the effect that Deku has had on so many. It's like the butterfly effect. He does his thing, and then even former villains and fallen heroes are going to return to fight for a good cause, and it's all because of him. And so, we go into the intro, and when we return, we're still there at the Mountain Villa. We see the lesser heroes are getting swarmed and scorched. I really don't know what would be scarier. And yeah, it looks bad for them. And we low-key have one of the saddest moments of the show in ages when Froppy overlooks the battlefield and seems to come to the conclusion that since Kurogiri got free from the hospital, and Dabi is now here, it seems likely that Shoto, Shoji, and Koda are all dead. And yeah, that would be a pretty crazy realization, and sad one. I love Froppy. Consistently one of the most compassionate team players in the story, and I love that they give her these human moments like that. And the reunion with Tokoyami and Jiro, that's nice, but no time to dwell on it because we flash over to Endeavor, who's punching twice doubles. And holy shit, the fact that he's even standing is nuts. No arm, huge chunk out of his side. How much pain is he in? But I gotta wonder, if he's capable of boxing like this, which would be intense, why not just use your fire to scorch the clones and stem the tide somewhat? No? Anyway, he notices Dabi's using Shoto's move and demands to know if he killed Shoto, only to be told that Shoto was too strong, but that Dabi can still destroy a lot of what Endeavor wants to save. And he's going to go out of his way to do so. And it's at this point that I started to think that despite what he says, sometimes it feels like he doesn't even want his dad to die. He wants him to live a long time and outlive him, dwelling on how much he failed, and that his discarded son ruined his life and destroyed everything he loved. Meanwhile, All For One's feeling pretty smug, as he should be. His army is whooping ass and his plans are all coming together. And so he goes off to find Shigaraki, who isn't quite complete yet, only to be confronted by Hawks, who attacks him, but still ends up coming off way worse in the exchange by getting pretty bloodied, whilst All For One's just talking shit and laughing. Honestly, as a final villain, I'm enjoying All For One so much. The voice actor is just top tier, he looks so smug, he sounds like such a troll, and he's just really enjoyable. Hawks then yells at Endeavor that it's getting too hot to fight, and so the hero team's gonna lose soon, so you gotta fight your boy. And look at Endeavor here. Yikes, that's sad. And All For One just keeps laughing, he keeps trolling Hawks, telling him that he's already asked Endeavor to abandon his duty of killing All For One himself. Until Hawks reminds him that Endeavor's already won that fight, already beaten All For One before, which All For One doesn't seem to like much. Typical. I knew it, he'd be one of those guys that can dish it out but cannot take it when they get clowned on even once, and so they go full axe murderer. And I gotta say, this next moment in the scene is just pure liquid hype. Dabi charges Endeavor and the music goes nuts, and Endeavor makes fire wings, stares down his son, declares that this time he's gonna watch him. And I'm not sure this is how you make up for lost time in childhood, but sure, why not? And yeah, this sequence, oh my god, when he grows the fire wings, ugh. And then you have the reflection in Endeavor's eye of Dabi coming at him. Yes. It's just yes. And it's only then that we get the title screen. And you know when the title screen is so late into the episode that you're staring down the barrel of a banger. And then we're back to the coffin in the sky, where we see things about to go to shit for the heroes as the portal opens behind Monoma, Manuel, and Aizawa, who are the only thing that are currently preventing Shigaraki from going nuts and using his quirk to murder everybody aboard. And out comes the twice doubles and they tackle them all, and both Aizawa and Monoma lose eye contact. They get swarmed, and I gotta say, luckily for them, Shigaraki's once again having that identity crisis going on, where his body's going nuts, and he's jostling with All For One for control. Because if he was in full control, or All For One was in full control in that moment, GG. Because I'm pretty sure Deku can't even move at this point from the backlash of Gear Shift, or whatever that quirk's called. The bad news for them, there is still an explosion that rips from Shiggy that destroys part of the prison. So, I'm guessing that was him using one of his quirks by accident from the backlash of what's going on with his body. And the news just keeps getting worse for the heroes as Skeptic hacks into the levitation device to try to drop out of the sky. And I gotta say, I hate this guy. Every time I see him, I want somebody to take him out. And it devastates me that they cut away when we're about to see his greasy ass get laid out this episode by the heroes. And all the while, Deku and Shiggy are facing each other down. My god, what is happening to this dude's body? His skin's peeling, flapping in the wind, absolutely disgusting. Ugh. Very uncomfortable. It reminds me of Deku's floppy, broken limbs from when his quirk used to shatter his bones. Nuh-uh. Skeptic's still going nuts, and Deku gets a brief pep talk from the second user, who reveals that Shigaraki and All For One seem to also be having that internal struggle right now, preventing them from fighting too. Which is probably why All For One was so eager to make his way over there in the flesh, to force that integration properly. And then, we had a scene that I was not expecting but was very welcome. La Brava hacks into Skeptic's tech out of nowhere, and beats his ass over the internet, locking him out and trolling him, blasting him with dancing optic kitties, and revealing that she'd done this to him before, costing his company heaps of money. Honestly, his face, his screams, his reactions, this scene was just so good. And it was such a nice palate cleanser from the bleak and brutal fights we've been getting so far. Needed some good humor to break it up, and here we have it. And yeah, this whole scene, I was also really hyped as I knew that it would mean Gentle is going to make his entrance soon at the battle to try to save Deku. And Gentle's just such a good character, such a fun character. And I love that he's going to get his redemption story here because he was hardly even a villain, was he? Just a petty criminal, really, and not even a very violent one. But yeah, it's all going to shit. Twice doubles are swarming. And there's nothing anybody can do, not even the fighter pilots, as if they attack the doubles, they could kill Aizawa and Monoma and the rest, so it's looking very bleak. Before it cuts to Gentle down in the Raging Sea, just casually bouncing his way over there. So has he been bouncing all the way from the mainland? That's dedication. And at the same time, Skeptic is getting arrested by the same hero that arrested Gentle back in the day, back in like season 4 I think it was. And then it's time for Gentle, hell yeah! And he's all powered up with La Brava's love quirk, and it's just epic, just epic. I can only get so hyped. And then a flashback to show what a Chad he is, that after the prison break where Muscular busts open all the prisons and tells them all to get going and wreak havoc, Gentle appears, getting out of his cell, as he's also been freed, and declares that he's not going to let them leave because he understands that he can still have that second chance and he doesn't want to blow it. The trash doesn't care though, and they attack him, and he defeats all the inmates in the prison. Yikes. And that's without the power boost he got from La Brava. He just whooped all these seasoned criminals who were talking about murder and whatnot. And honestly, it's a bit rough that he was even locked up with them to begin with. Like, what was his actual crimes? A couple thefts? How long was he going to be in prison for? And then we get a nice romantic part where his only request after that was to see La Brava. Oh, and they reveal their absence made their love even stronger as we cut back to the present, and he gets a huge power boost as he catches the falling Yue. And he even got his own moment where he gets that special hero theme, the one that plays for the likes of All Might and Deku doing their big moments, like when Deku saved Eri. So he finally gets to be the hero, and he's crying because this was his dream, to help. And Deku's crying because he realizes that Gentle's here, helping, and in no small part due to Deku and his words about fighting to keep the smile on a little girl's face. So yeah, they're both crying, and I'm crying, and it's very damn beautiful. And I'm also marveling at the fact that they took this guy, who in every justifiable way is a throwaway comedy villain, and they gave him such depth, such a compelling story, and such a great redemption. Honestly, I think coming into this, I was expecting some League of Villains redemptions, but now? No, this is the villain redemption. There's not going to be any more. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But no time to ride that high, as the 5th user notices that Shigaraki is ready, and is about to use Decay, which would kill everybody aboard. And yeah, well, there's 2 villain redemptions then. I was shocked here, not gonna lie. I figured, oh, Deku's gonna make it, maybe Baka goes back up and it's gonna be revealed the CPR worked, but nope. Lady Nagant comes in clutch from what, the roof of the hospital she's in? And she shoots Shigaraki's hand off, and then shoots him in the head! Woof! Redemption times 2. But there's not going to be any more redemptions after this. I think that's the last one. A definitive last one. Famous last word. And so here is where the episode ends, but we get the preview for next time, which looks, it looks awesome. Follows up on the 2 big battlefields, hell yeah. I'm kind of wondering, is Gigantomachia going to wake up sooner rather than later? I feel like he's going to get in the mix too, and that's going to just make everything more intense. Yeah, so this episode's been an absolute blast. This arc is going very well, so well. I'm loving every episode. I'm not ready for the season to wind down. And so yeah, with all that being said, not really much else to say beyond this is the end of the episode, the end of the video. And so I would like to remind you that these have all been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the episode? You like it? Hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.